Hello, Lauren said. My mom keeps asking why I'm still with you, and added, and honestly, I no longer have an answer. No pause. No softening. Just dropped it between a weather comment and a sigh like it was overdue housekeeping. For context, I'm Daniel, 28M. She's Lauren, 27F. Together almost 3 years. Living together for one. Long enough that a sentence like that shouldn't come out without consequence. I waited. Maybe she'd realize how brutal it sounded. Maybe she'd laugh and say she didn't mean it like that. She didn't. Instead, she added, I don't want to fight. I'm just being honest. My mom thinks I could do better. There it was. The familiar echo. Not new, just finally spoken out loud. Her mom had always been there, hovering in the background of our relationship like a performance review, asking about my job, my plans, my timeline, always framed as concern. Lauren used to defend me. Then she started repeating the questions. Then she stopped defending anything at all. I looked at her and felt something settle. Not anger. Not sadness. Clarity. You're right, I said. She finally looked up, surprised. I am. Yeah, I replied. You don't have an answer. And that tells me everything. Her mouth opened slightly, like she expected more. An argument. A promise. Me listing reasons she should stay. Instead, I stood up. She frowned. What are you doing? Agreeing with you, I said calmly. She laughed once, sharp. Don't be dramatic. I didn't respond. That night, I slept on the edge of the bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to her breathe like nothing had changed. But something had. The next morning, she left for work with a distracted kiss and a reminder to take the trash out. I waited until the door closed. Then I opened the closet and grabbed my bags. I packed quietly, not because I was sneaking, but because I didn't need the drama. I folded my clothes the way I always had, careful, methodical. Funny how you notice routines only when you're about to abandon them. Her dresser was still half full of things I'd bought her. A scarf from a weekend trip. Shoes she said she needed for work. I left all of it. None of it mattered anymore. What did matter was how calm I felt. No shaking hands. No racing thoughts. Just this steady understanding that the relationship had already ended. I was simply catching up. As I zipped my last bag, I walked through the apartment one more time. The framed photo of us at her cousin's wedding. The plant I kept alive while she forgot to water it. The sticky note on the fridge reminding me to buy groceries. I grabbed a pen. The note wasn't planned. It just came out. Now you and your mom can figure out together why you were single. I placed it neatly on the kitchen counter. Not dramatic. Not hidden. Impossible to miss. Then I left. I didn't block her. I didn't leave town. I went to my brother's place across the city and crashed on his couch. He didn't ask many questions. Just handed me a beer and said, about time. By noon, my phone started buzzing. First call. Missed. Second call. Missed. Then texts. Where are you? Are you seriously doing this? This is so immature, Daniel. Immature. That was her favorite word whenever I refused to swallow something quietly. I didn't answer. At 1:43 p.m. I got a new message. My mom says you're overreacting. I stared at the screen and laughed out loud for the first time in weeks. Because somehow, even now, she was outsourcing her thinking. And that told me I'd made the right choice. She came home earlier than usual. I know because my phone lit up with 5 missed calls in under 10 minutes. Then a text that dropped the mask completely. Did you seriously move out? I didn't reply. A minute later. Daniel, this isn't funny. Call me. Then, my mom says you're being manipulative. That one almost made me respond. Almost. Instead, I sat on my brother's couch, staring at the wall, realizing how predictable everything still was. Even after I left, her first instinct wasn't to reflect. It was to consult her mother like a legal team. Around 7 p.m., she finally left a voicemail. I listened to it once. That was enough. Her voice was sharp at first. Accusatory. You don't get to just walk out because of one comment, she snapped. Normal couples talk through things. Then the tone shifted. Softer. Controlled. I was just venting. Everyone complains to their mom. You're acting like I cheated on you. And then, right at the end, the line that told me everything. I didn't think you'd actually leave. There it was. Not I'm sorry. Not I hurt you. Just shocked that I'd stepped out of the role I'd been quietly playing for years. The role where I absorbed criticism. Where I proved my worth on demand. Where I competed with her mother's opinion like it was a permanent third party in our relationship. I didn't call back. Later that night, a mutual friend texted me. Lauren's freaking out. She says you blindsided her. Blindsided. As if a sentence like, I don't know why I'm still with you, was something you were supposed to shrug off. as if dignity was negotiable. I typed one response and sent it. I didn't leave because of her mom. I left because Lauren agreed with her. The friend didn't reply, but I didn't need them to, because for the first time in a long time, I wasn't waiting for permission to be done. By the next morning, the narrative had already shifted. Not between us, she hadn't earned that, but everywhere else. A mutual friend messaged me saying Lauren was telling people I stormed out over a misunderstanding. Another said she framed it as me having some kind of breakdown. Apparently, her mom was deeply concerned about my emotional stability. That part didn't surprise me. Lauren had always been good at controlling the framing. Anytime I pushed back, she'd soften the story before it ever reached anyone else. She didn't lie outright, she curated. Around noon, she texted again. I told my mom you took things the wrong way. She thinks we should talk like adults. There it was again. We. As if her mother was part of the relationship, and somehow also the judge. I replied for the first time since leaving. This isn't a group discussion. 3 dots appeared immediately. You're being dramatic. You know my mom just worries. I didn't bother explaining. I'd explained for years. Worried when I didn't make enough. Worried when I didn't advance fast enough. Worried when I didn't fit the image she had already decided her daughter deserved. And Lauren? She stopped questioning that worry a long time ago. An hour later, she called. I answered, not because I missed her, but because I wanted to hear how she sounded now that I wasn't in the apartment absorbing everything quietly. She didn't greet me. She exhaled sharply and said, So what? You're just done? 3 years, and you leave a note? You said you didn't know why you were with me. I replied. I helped you answer that. Her voice sharpened. That's not what I meant. What did you mean? I asked. Silence. Then, irritated, I meant I'm under pressure. From my mom. From everyone. You didn't even try to reassure me. There it was again. Reassure her. Convince her. Prove my value. I'm tired of auditioning, I said calmly. She scoffed. So now I'm the villain? No, I replied. You're just not my responsibility anymore. She hung up. And for the first time, I realized something unsettling, but freeing. Without me there to steady things, she didn't actually know how to stand on her own. The silence didn't last. It never does with someone who's used to being consulted. 2 days after our call, Lauren showed up at my brother's place. I hadn't told her where I was staying, which meant she'd asked around. Probably framed it as concern. Probably had her mom on speaker while she did it. I opened the door and immediately wished I hadn't. She looked put together in that forced way. Hair done, makeup sharp, posture rigid. Like she was heading into a meeting, not confronting the boyfriend she'd belittled. So this is where you ran off to, she said, stepping forward without being invited. I blocked the doorway. You shouldn't be here. She rolled her eyes. Relax. I just want to talk. My mom thinks this whole thing got blown out of proportion. I laughed once. I couldn't help it. Your mom doesn't get a vote, I said. Her face hardened. You're being disrespectful. To who? I asked. You? Or her? That hit a nerve. She crossed her arms, defensive now. You always do this. You make everything into some big moral stand instead of just fixing things. Fixing things how? I asked. By convincing you I'm worth staying with. She scoffed. See? That attitude. That's exactly what my mom was talking about. There it was again. The echo. The constant referral. I took a breath. Lauren, you didn't just repeat her words. You believed them. You said you didn't know why you were with me. She hesitated. Just a fraction. I was confused. No, I replied. You were honest. Her voice rose. So you just leave? No discussion? No chance for me to explain? I gave you 3 years, I said calmly. This wasn't sudden. This was overdue. She stared at me like she was seeing a stranger. You think you're better than me now? She snapped. No, I said. I think I finally stopped shrinking. That was the moment she realized this wasn't a tantrum. This was permanent. And for the first time since she showed up, she looked scared. She didn't leave right away. Lauren stood there in the doorway like she was waiting for someone, anyone, to tell her what to do next. When my brother shifted behind me, she finally seemed to remember she wasn't in control here. Fine, she said, chin lifting. If you want space, take it. But don't act like I didn't try. Trying would have sounded different, I replied. She scoffed and turned to leave, then stopped. You know my mom thinks you'll regret this. That almost made me smile. I already don't, I said. She froze, then walked away without another word. That night, my phone blew up again, not from her, but from her mom. I hadn't given her my number. Lauren had. The message was long, carefully worded, full of concern. Daniel, I don't think you fully understand how much pressure Lauren is under. She's at an age where choices matter. She needs stability, reassurance, a partner who knows his place in her future. Knows his place. I read it twice, then put my phone down. That was the first time I understood the full picture. This wasn't just a meddling parent. This was a hierarchy, and I had never been at the top of it. Lauren didn't push back because pushing back would have meant choosing herself. Or choosing me. And she'd been taught not to do either without approval. The next morning, I got a text from Lauren. My mom didn't mean it like that. I replied once. She meant it exactly how you meant it. No response. Later that day, a friend told me Lauren had taken time off work. That she was not doing great. That she kept saying she didn't recognize me anymore. That part was true. I didn't recognize myself either. I recognized someone quieter, straighter. Someone who wasn't bracing for the next comment, the next comparison, the next implied disappointment. Someone who had finally stopped explaining himself. And apparently, that scared her more than losing me ever had. Lauren didn't contact me for a few days after that. Instead, she activated the backup system. Mutual friends started reaching out under the guise of concern. One asked if I was okay. Another wondered if I was open to talking things through. The phrasing was always careful, like they'd been briefed. One of them slipped up. She's really struggling, he said. Her mom thinks you blindsided her, but Lauren keeps saying she didn't mean it the way it came out. I thanked him and ended the call. Because here's the thing. When someone says they didn't mean it like that, what they usually mean is they didn't expect consequences. Lauren finally texted me herself that night. I feel like everyone thinks I'm the bad guy. I stared at the message for a long time. I didn't say you were, I replied. I just stopped accepting it. That response must have hit harder than I expected. Her next message came fast. My mom says relationships take compromise. You didn't even give me a chance to explain. There it was again. Always her mom is the authority. The translator. The validator. I typed, deleted, then finally sent. You explained yourself perfectly on the couch. No response. The next day, I heard from my brother that Lauren had shown up at our old apartment with her mom. Not to pack. Not to move on. To inspect. Apparently her mom kept asking, what exactly did he contribute? While Lauren walked from room to room, suddenly realizing how many things were mine. Furniture. Kitchenware. Even the router I paid for. Funny how invisible contribution is, until it's gone. That night, Lauren called again. I answered. Her voice was quieter this time. Defensive energy gone. I didn't think you'd actually choose yourself over us, she said. Us? I asked. She hesitated. You know what I mean. I do, I said. That's why I left. Silence. And in that silence, I could almost hear it clicking for her. That I hadn't walked away from a relationship. I'd walked away from a committee. The call after that came late. Too late to be casual. Too late to be anything but desperation. Lauren didn't sound angry this time. No sarcasm. No superiority. Just raw panic leaking through every word. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now, she said quietly. Everything feels unstable. I leaned back on the couch and closed my eyes. For years, she continued, you were the constant. You handled things. You stayed calm. You didn't make me choose sides. There it was. I wasn't her partner. I was her buffer. Her mom's expectations. Her own doubts. Her fear of making the wrong choice. I absorbed all of it, so she never had to confront it directly. You weren't supposed to leave, she said. You were supposed to reassure me. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't interrupt. I'm getting questions now, she went on. From my mom. From my friends. Everyone keeps asking why you left, and I don't know what to say. That's because, I replied calmly, you outsourced your answer for too long. She sniffed. That's not fair. It's accurate, I said. Her voice cracked. I didn't think one sentence would end everything. It didn't, I replied. It just revealed it. Silence stretched between us. Then she asked the question I knew was coming. Is there any chance we could try again? Maybe with boundaries this time. My mom doesn't have to be involved so much. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. You're only offering that now because you lost me, I said gently. Not because you chose me. She broke down completely then. Full sobs. No defenses left. I didn't mean to make you feel small, she cried. I just didn't know how to stand up to her. I exhaled slowly. And that's why I can't come back, I said. Because I can't spend my life proving myself to someone who won't stand next to me. She didn't argue. She couldn't. And in that moment, I knew something she was just beginning to realize. Losing me wasn't the problem. Losing her sense of control was. And there was no fixing that from the outside. After that call, things finally shifted, for both of us. Lauren stopped reaching out directly. No late-night calls. No just checking in texts. Instead, I started hearing about her the same way she used to hear about me, secondhand. She's not doing great. She keeps saying she didn't think it would actually end like this. Her mom keeps asking what she did wrong. That last one was the most telling. For the first time, her mom didn't have a clear villain to point at. I wasn't there anymore to absorb the blame, to be analyzed and critiqued like a flawed product. And without me, Lauren had no buffer. I ran into her accidentally about a week later. Coffee shop near our old place. I almost turned around, but she'd already seen me. She looked different, not unkempt, just less certain, like someone who'd lost the script and was improvising badly. "Hey," she said, standing up too fast. "Can we talk? Just for a minute?" I nodded. Sat down. She wrapped her hands around her cup like it was grounding her. "My mom keeps asking why I didn't fight harder," she said quietly. "Why I let you leave." I raised an eyebrow. "And what do you tell her?" Lauren swallowed. "I don't know." That honesty caught me off guard. "I keep replaying that night on the couch," she admitted. "I didn't think you'd hear it as final." "I didn't hear it," I said. "I accepted it." She winced. "You always took things seriously," she said. "I guess I assumed you'd just adapt. Like you always did." There it was again. The assumption that I'd bend. "I adapted for years," I replied. "This time, I chose myself." She nodded slowly, tears threatening but not falling. "I think my mom liked the version of you who stayed quiet." I stood up. "I didn't." She looked up at me then, eyes searching. "Do you ever miss me?" I paused, then answered honestly. "I miss who I thought we were," I said. "Not what we became." She didn't follow me when I left. And that's how I knew this was really over. The last conversation didn't happen on the phone. It happened a few days later, when Lauren came by the apartment one final time to actually pack her things. I wasn't there. That was intentional. My brother told me later that she moved slowly, carefully, like every object carried weight now. She stood in the doorway for a long time before leaving, holding the note I'd left behind. The one she hadn't thrown away. She called me that evening. I almost didn't answer. Almost. "I won't keep you long," she said quietly. No attitude. No authority behind her voice this time. Just fatigue. "I just wanted to tell you, my mom asked me again why I'm single," she continued. "And this time, I didn't blame you." I stayed silent. "I told her the truth," Lauren said. "That I let her voice become louder than my own. That I let her question you until I started questioning you too." That was the closest she'd ever come to owning it. "I don't expect anything from you," she added quickly. "I know that door is closed. I just wanted you to know I finally understand what you meant." I exhaled slowly. "I hope you do," I said. "Because understanding it later doesn't make it hurt less, but it might stop it from happening again." She was quiet for a moment. "You really meant it, didn't you?" she asked. "When you said you agreed with me." "Yes," I replied. "I agreed that you didn't have an answer, and I refused to keep being one." She whispered, "I lost you because I didn't protect us." "You lost me because you didn't choose us," I corrected gently. "We said goodbye without promises, without bitterness, just finality." When the call ended, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. Because when she said, "My mom keeps asking why I'm still with you," she was really asking herself. And when I said, "You're right," I wasn't giving up. I was finally walking away from a relationship where I was never allowed to stand fully on my own. Bye-bye.